The vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean was once the highway for the world's greatest navigators, the Polynesians. Their voyaging canoes reached the most remote islands, creating a network of cultures and societies across thousands of miles. But could these master navigators have encountered the icy shores of Antarctica? Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss new stories. And also, write a comment what story you would like to hear next. The historical background of Polynesian exploration is a testament to one of the most remarkable feats of prehistoric navigation and settlement. The Polynesians, a group of people who originated from Southeast Asia, embarked on one of the greatest voyaging and exploration episodes in human history. Their journeys across the vast and treacherous Pacific Ocean led to the settlement of an expansive triangle of islands, stretching from New Zealand in the south to Hawaii in the north and Easter Island in the east. The story of Polynesian exploration begins around 1500 BCE, if not earlier, when Austronesian-speaking peoples from Southeast Asia started to move eastward into the Pacific. The Lapita culture, known for their distinctive pottery, were among the early ancestors of the Polynesians. They gradually spread through the islands of Melanesia and into the remote reaches of the Pacific, laying the groundwork for the development of Polynesian culture. By about 1000 CE, Polynesians had reached the far corners of the Polynesian Triangle. This expansion was not a random drift across the ocean, but a series of deliberate voyages made possible by sophisticated navigational knowledge and seafaring technology. The settlement of the Pacific Islands was a deliberate and strategic process. Polynesians often returned to previously discovered islands, bringing with them plants, animals, and materials to establish new communities. This pattern of exploration, settlement, and return voyages facilitated the spread of Polynesian culture and the development of trade networks across the Pacific. The notion that Polynesians may have encountered Antarctica centuries before Europeans is a topic of ongoing research and debate among historians, archaeologists, and anthropologists. One of the primary sources suggesting Polynesian encounters with Antarctica comes from oral histories and legends passed down through generations. Some Polynesian cultures have stories describing distant lands covered in ice, where the sea turns solid and the cold is piercing. These stories do indicate a knowledge of cold, icy landscapes that are not found in the tropical Pacific and could be describing the polar regions. Scholars caution, however, that interpreting these stories is complex and they could be allegorical or based on encounters with icebergs in southern waters rather than the Antarctic continent itself. Some researchers have looked at environmental indicators that Polynesians might have encountered conditions or species that are associated with the Antarctic region. For example, the presence of Antarctic fauna, such as penguins, in some Polynesian myths and artifacts could suggest indirect contact or knowledge of Antarctic marine life, possibly through islands closer to Antarctica, where these species could also be found, or through drift materials brought by ocean currents. The discovery of Polynesian artifacts and canoe designs capable of long-distance ocean voyages supports the idea that they had the technology and navigational skills necessary for reaching the Antarctic waters. The widespread distribution of Polynesian artifacts across the vast Pacific Islands demonstrates their capability for extensive maritime exploration. Recent genetic studies have provided insights into the far-reaching voyages of Polynesians. These studies show that Polynesians had contact with South American populations. They ventured far from their traditional navigation routes. This evidence of long-distance travel supports the notion that reaching the subantarctic regions, or even the fringes of Antarctica, could have been within the realm of possibility. Early European explorers in the Pacific noted the exceptional navigational skills of Polynesians and their ability to undertake long voyages across open water. Some accounts and logs suggest that Polynesians had knowledge of lands to the south, though these references are often vague and not definitive proof of Polynesian presence in Antarctic waters. The navigational skills and knowledge of ancient seafarers, particularly those of the Polynesians, represent one of the most sophisticated and effective systems developed before the advent of modern navigational tools. These skills allowed them to explore, settle, and maintain communication and trade across the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, which covers more than 30 million square miles. Polynesian navigators, known as wayfinders, utilized a holistic system of navigation, known as wayfinding, which integrated observational skills, memorized environmental patterns, and an intimate understanding of the stars, sea, and wildlife behavior. Wayfinders used the stars, sun, moon, and planets as guides. They recognized patterns in the night sky and the movement of celestial bodies to determine direction and position. The rising and setting points of stars were particularly important for setting courses at sea. Polynesians understood the intricacies of ocean swells, generated by distant storms and winds, which could be felt hundreds of miles away from their source. They could read these swells, distinguishing between those reflected by islands and open ocean swells, to navigate towards or away from land. Knowledge of prevailing wind patterns, seasonal variations, and the signs of approaching weather systems was crucial. This understanding allowed navigators to choose the most favorable times for voyages and to anticipate changes in conditions. Observations of birds, fish, and other marine life provided additional clues to the navigator. Certain species were known to inhabit areas near land, while others indicated open ocean. The flight patterns of birds at dawn and dusk could lead navigators towards islands. Wayfinders memorized vast amounts of information, including the names and positions of stars, islands, and ocean currents, as well as the habits of sea creatures. They constructed mental maps that integrated all these elements, allowing them to voyage across open waters with confidence. The training of a Polynesian navigator was a rigorous process that began in childhood and continued for many years. Knowledge was passed down orally from master navigators to apprentices, often within families. This education included not only the technical aspects of navigation, but also the spiritual and cultural dimensions, emphasizing the navigator's deep connection with the environment. The double-hulled canoes of the Polynesians were marvels of ancient engineering, designed for long voyages. Their stability, speed, and capacity for carrying supplies and people were critical to the success of Polynesian navigation. The construction of these canoes, using materials and techniques passed down through generations, was itself a form of specialized knowledge. The modern recognition and legacy of traditional navigational skills, particularly those of the Polynesians, have seen a significant resurgence in interest and respect over recent decades. Organizations such as the Polynesian Voyaging Society, PVS, have been pivotal in the revival of traditional Polynesian navigation techniques. Founded in the 1970s, PVS and similar groups have built and sailed traditional double-hulled canoes, like the Hakule'a, across vast oceanic distances using ancient wayfinding techniques, proving their effectiveness and resilience. The resurgence of interest in traditional navigation has been part of a broader cultural renaissance among Pacific Islander communities. This movement seeks to reclaim and revitalize indigenous identities, languages, practices, and knowledge systems that were suppressed or marginalized by colonial influences. The evidence suggesting Polynesian encounters with Antarctica offers a fascinating glimpse into the world of ancient navigators. While definitive proof remains elusive, the possibility of such voyages challenges our perceptions of historical exploration. It underscores the need to recognize the contributions of Polynesians to our global heritage, celebrating their legacy of innovation, courage, and curiosity. Thank you for watching the video. If you have questions, write them in the comments. And also check out our channel, we have some more interesting videos.